Jack Antonoff is probably better known as that producer wonder kid who seems to have the Midas touch for Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, and others. Today we're going to be looking at his side project. And do we call it a side project or not? It's their self-titled fourth album. So stick around for our top tracks and later on our final verdict. Hello to you, Al. Hope everything's well. I thought this was all right, but I'm not sure. Should he be giving up his day job for this particular vehicle?
Yeah, good morning, mate. Look, I don't think he'll be giving up his day job anytime soon. Mr. Bleachers got his fingers in all of the pies in terms of the who's who in the music industry. But look, this album's pretty solid from start to about the last few tracks in, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but we'll talk about that later. Look, I mean, I like his sound in terms of the whole bright, shouty 80s kind of sound. He's got a Springsteen-esque kind of sound. He's featured him previously on previous records, absolutely, which is fantastic. But he's also got this kind of sound similar to an artist which I don't know if you've heard of before, Old Sea Brigade, which is one of my particular favourites. So he kind of toggles between this kind of 80s sax appeal, kind of loud kind of sound to this kind of new kind of melancholy kind of sound, which I particularly like. And there's one particular song we'll talk later on, which is the highlight off this album for me, mate. Look, I'm enjoying it. It's got mixed reviews. Some people have given it like 2.5. Some people have given it 4.5. So I'm interested, a couple of listens in, mate, where you're sitting with this.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I think he is a bit of a walking contradiction, to be honest. He goes from the sort of this underdog New Jersey guy, but he's also, he's got the girl, he's just gotten married, and he's connected with the higher ups, so Tay and Lana's and all of those others, but he sort of, that really comes out too in the sound. Like there's lots of sort of tough sounding songs, all those poppy songs, but he has quite a bit of a range. And for those that have been into Bleachers, there's a lot of stuff that's familiar here, but probably where it's at compared to the other records is you still get the poppy stuff, but it's probably less 80s school hall stuff. It's probably a little bit more adult. I mean, he's at a different stage of his life, mate. So that's kind of where it's at. So you do get a lot of themes of, just the enjoying life, but there is the spiritual stuff and he's contemplating, I guess, where he is in the world. But overall, look, I thought it was good. I think it was good. I think it went from good to great in some ways, as I said. But Al, what were the tracks that really stood out for you?
Yeah, this was a bit of a challenge, actually, because he's got quite a few good tracks on here. A couple here which kind of let it down and, for me, lacked cohesion, which, for me, it's a bit of an album where there's a clear side A and side B. But in terms of some tracks that I'm really enjoying, I really like Me Before You. I think that's a really, really fantastic song. One of the lead singles, Modern Girl, it's got a little bit of flack in terms of people saying it's a little bit Billy Joel. We Didn't Start the Fire, which I think is a bit of bullshit, really, mate. Look, it's a great track. It's going to put you in a good mood if you're feeling a bit down. It's got that whole late 80s, early 90s sitcom kind of sound. Could easily sneak onto a TV show like Perfect Strangers or Full House. But the song that I'm absolutely loving, which is kind of middle of the album, is Woke Up Today. And I am particularly looking forward to this track, maybe live, just him on a guitar. I think it's going to be a really interesting kind of direction for Mr. Bleacher himself, mate. What are you enjoying so far?
Yeah, love all of those songs. Like the sax, actually. And I know you're a big fan of the double sax as well. But listen, like in terms of my top three, if you like. There was probably a few that I could choose from. Modern Girl, I really enjoyed. Like, I don't really understand. I mean, big deal if it sounded like Billy Joel. So be it. I didn't really think about that in a lot. I thought there was a bit of Springsteen. It had a late 80s feel to it, and especially the saxophones brought that out. Alma Mater, I thought that was quite good. I mean, this is one of the collaborations with Lana Del Rey, and you kind of struggle to sort of hear where she actually fits. She did a cameo for the music video, so that was quite good. But like, it actually does sound a little bit like some of the tracks she did off her previous album. And another one I liked is Jesus Is Dead. It had a really cool rolling drum beat to it. It almost was like Strokes-like in a way, so I didn't mind that. And it then came out into sort of a bit of a crescendo with the saxophones again. So they love their saxophones there, Bleachers. It seems to be a theme, and I love it too. I thought it was really good and how it rolled out. But Al, interested to know your review and what you gave it out of 5 stars, because I guess from where I'm sitting, I thought that, look, it came out of the blocks, and we're hearing a lot of albums like this at the moment where they're coming out of the blocks, but then just the second side of it just seems a little bit more dour.
Yeah, look, that's a really good comment, mate. Look, I'm giving it 3 3/4 this week. I've listened to it 3 times now. Look, it nearly nudged up to a 4 for me, but what lets it down for me is the lack of cohesion, as well as some of the songs which feature guest artists I don't think are as good as the ones that he's kind of doing by himself. So for me, it's a very close to a 4, but 3 3/4 this week, mate. Where did you land?
Yeah, look, I mean, as I said, it was a little bit downplayed. I mean, it was almost like in some ways positive sounding national songs, which, actually they probably don't exist, don't they? But I'm going to give it a 3.5. 3.5 stars for me. Look, it's good in places, it's great in places. I'm not sure if he's going to quit his day job and what he's known for, on account of this. But overall, I think that people should definitely check it out, and it does give you a bit of a sense of where some of these crazy popular acts and what they have done, and it does give you a sense of that particular DNA. That is our review of the self-titled album by Bleachers.